Let's start here. Fever star Sophie Cunningham reveals major personal change. All right, here it says, the Indiana Fever have been on a great run the past 2 seasons. In 2024, they finished with a 20-20 record. Their first 500 finish since 2016. That's Caitlin Clark coming in there and changing the culture like that.
Sophie Cunningham just dropped 16 pounds, and Lexi Hall is launching her own cosmetics brand. Both moves are happening in the same offseason, and it's no coincidence. Playing alongside Caitlin Clark, one of the most marketable athletes in women's basketball history, is changing everything for her teammates. The so-called Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond ticket sales and TV ratings. It's reshaping how players think about their careers, their fitness, and the business opportunities available to them. Cunningham is transforming her body to match the pace and intensity Clark brings to the court, while Hall is using the spotlight to build a brand designed for athletes. This offseason shows how the influence of a superstar extends beyond the scoreboard, inspiring teammates to elevate themselves, seize new opportunities, and strategically plan for the future. The ripple effects of Clark's presence in the WNBA are just beginning, and they could redefine the league for years to come.
Wanted to ambush and act like they was doing a heist or a robbery on Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham was the only one that stood on business and held Caitlin Clark down. This was after she was ejected during a game against the Connecticut Sun for grabbing J.C. Sheldon. Here it says Sophie Cunningham gears up for her return to Indiana. Cunningham played 4 years at Missouri. Cunningham was drafted with the 13th pick.
Let's start with the numbers because they tell a story most people are missing. Sophie Cunningham dropped from 165 pounds to 148.5 pounds, a 17-pound loss in the offseason. For a professional athlete, that's nearly 10% of her body weight. This wasn't about being out of shape. Last season with Indiana, Cunningham shot a career-best 46.9% from the field and 43% from three-point range, numbers that place her among the league's elite. So why make such a dramatic change? The answer lies in Caitlin Clark. When Clark arrived at training camp, she was noticeably leaner, having shed the muscle she built during her rookie season to return to her Iowa playing weight. Cunningham, who spent 4 years at Missouri and 6 with Phoenix, understood immediately what that meant. Clark isn't jogging or pacing herself. She runs like a track star for the full 40 minutes of a game.
Mercury for 6 years, averaged 7 points. None of that, that's not the important part. Here's the important part, okay? The Fever traded for Cunningham to bolster their roster alongside star Caitlin Clark. In 30 games for Indiana, Cunningham averaged a career best 46.9 field goal percentage and shot 43% from 3, a career high. She shot the cover off the basketball. Here it says, after becoming an integral part of the Indiana Fever's.
This is where it gets interesting. Cunningham wasn't the first Indiana Fever player to face this reality. Aaliyah Boston went through the same evolution. During her rookie season in 2023, Boston played at a certain weight. But when Caitlin Clark arrived in 2024, Boston returned for her second year noticeably slimmer. She had to. Clark's pace of play is relentless. The Fever shifted from half-court sets to near-constant transition basketball. If you can't keep up with Clark, you don't see the floor. Now Cunningham is making a similar calculation. She told reporters she plans to gain about 5 pounds before the season starts, aiming for 153 or 154 pounds. Even then, she'll remain 12 pounds lighter than last year. This isn't about looks. It's about thriving in a system that demands non-stop movement, stamina, and adaptability.
First year with the Indiana Fever, when Caitlin Clark got there, she knew second year, oh no, I gotta come in slimmer because this girl is gonna be running. This girl gonna be running. Sophie Cunningham realized the same thing. I'm gonna cut down about 10 pounds. I was already in good shape. I'm gonna come in even better shape. I'm gonna come down about 10 pounds lighter. I'm gonna be in better shape to run up and down non-stop with Caitlin Clark.
But the physical transformation is only part of the story. While Cunningham is reshaping her body, Lexi Hall is reshaping her career. Hall recently co-founded Ford Cosmetics with beauty investor Sarah Guller. This isn't a typical endorsement where an athlete simply puts her name on a product. Hall is a co-founder with ownership and equity. She's building a brand designed specifically for athletes, with makeup that resists sweat and stays in place during intense activity. What makes this move especially significant is Hall's career profile. She was the 6th overall pick in the 2022 draft and has averaged 7 points and 4 rebounds per game for Indiana. Those are solid, reliable numbers, but not what you'd call superstar stats. Just 3 years ago, a player like Hall wouldn't have had the infrastructure, visibility, or financial backing to launch a company of her own.
Don't try what you pulled last year, starting Dewana Bonners and all these other people. No, Lexi Hall needs to be a starter on this team this year. Don't play games. Don't play games. Courtesy of Yahoo Sports, Indiana Fever's Lexi Hall makes announcement after launching own brand. Lexi Hall enters the 2026 WNBA offseason as a free agent after completing her 4th season with the Indiana Fever, the former 6th overall pick in the 2022 WNBA.
Then Caitlin Clark arrived in Indiana, and everything changed. The Fever went from 13 wins in 2023 to 20 wins in 2024. They captured the Commissioner's Cup and reached the semifinals. But for players like Hall and Cunningham, the bigger impact was the spotlight. National media coverage surged, attendance tripled, and sponsors started noticing everyone wearing a Fever jersey. Not just Clark. Cunningham landed national Arby's commercials and was featured on NFL broadcasts. Hall gained the platform and visibility to pitch investors for Ford Cosmetics and actually secure meetings. These opportunities don't happen by chance. They come from playing alongside a superstar who puts her teammates in front of millions of viewers night after night. Last season, the Fever averaged over 1 million viewers per game, numbers that rival or exceed many NBA teams.
The brand is designed for active people, especially athletes, with products that resist sweat and stay put during movement. Oh, so this is good. This is actually something for athletes. This is pretty cool. Here it says, on Tuesday, Hall used her Instagram stories to signal the next step for Forta, reminding her fans that products will soon be launched and available. Hall tagged the brand on her post and included the caption, OTW, on the way. Forta was created by Hall and former beauty investor Sarah Guller with the mission to make...
Now let's consider what this means for the WNBA as a whole, because the impact goes far beyond 2 players getting in shape or launching businesses. What we're seeing is the emergence of a 2-tier system in the league. Some teams have generational stars who attract massive attention, while others do not, and the gap between these tiers is widening rapidly. Sophie Cunningham provides a clear example. She spent 6 seasons with Phoenix as a solid, reliable contributor, but she wasn't appearing in national commercials or major media campaigns. 1 season in Indiana alongside Caitlin Clark, and everything changed. Cunningham didn't suddenly become a better player. What changed was the jersey she wore, the team she joined, and the spotlight that came with it. With that visibility came opportunities that simply didn't exist before.
As Indiana Fever guard Lexi Hall launching a cosmetics brand called Forta. It's the first DTC play not tied into a broader sponsorship deal that I've seen from the current crop of young WNBA players. All right, man. So Lexi Hall is making moves off the floor, just as Sophie Cunningham. And make no mistake about it, it's because they are part of Tres Leche. There's no Tres Leches and no Caitlin Clark. Make no mistake.
This creates a fascinating and complicated dynamic as the WNBA heads into collective bargaining agreement, CBA negotiations. The players' union is pushing for higher salaries, improved travel conditions, and a larger share of league revenue. On the surface, these are all reasonable demands, reflecting the league's overall growth and rising popularity. But there's an uncomfortable reality that rarely gets acknowledged. Not all teams are growing at the same rate. Franchises like the Indiana Fever, the Las Vegas Aces, and the New York Liberty, anchored by superstar players, are experiencing massive increases in attendance, TV viewership, and sponsorship revenue. Meanwhile, other teams continue to struggle, facing empty seats, limited local engagement, and difficulty attracting meaningful sponsorships. This creates a challenge for the union. Advocating for league-wide salary increases means arguing that every player should benefit equally from growth that is disproportionately fueled by a handful of elite stars. From the perspective of some team owners, that's a tough argument to make. Indiana, for example, is generating significant revenue thanks to increased exposure and fan interest, while other teams operate at a financial deficit. Asking all owners to pay higher salaries without a guarantee of matching revenue can be difficult to justify. The situation highlights how the rise of high-profile players is reshaping the league's economics. Generational stars don't just influence the on-court success of their teams, they drive attention, media coverage, and business opportunities that benefit teammates and boost league revenue. As the CBA negotiations unfold, balancing fairness with financial reality will be a central challenge, especially in a league where growth is increasingly concentrated around a few standout players. In short, the Clark effect is not just transforming players' careers. It's forcing the WNBA to rethink how opportunity, exposure, and resources are distributed across the league.
Gonna come in tip-top shape, ready to go, ready to guard the best player every game. Listen, between Tres Leche is gonna be ready. I can't speak for everybody. Aaliyah Boston probably should be MVP and unrivaled, by the way, but Tres Leche is gonna show up ready to do what they do. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be ready. Sign the damn deal. Get down in the comments, let me know what you think. Just keep the vision. Make sure you...
Here's what makes this moment so critical for the future of the WNBA. We're witnessing in real time a major shift, from a collective growth model to a star-driven model. For years, the league promoted itself as a collective effort. Every team, every player rose or fell together. The message was clear: support women's basketball as a whole, not individual stars. That approach made sense when the league was fighting for survival and needed every fan it could get. But now the landscape has changed. Today, players like Caitlin Clark can single-handedly transform a franchise's fortunes. Before Clark arrived, the Indiana Fever were reportedly losing money every season. By 2024, they were profitable for the first time in years. And this wasn't due to incremental improvements across the roster. It was Clark's impact. She created a gravitational pull that attracted fans, sponsors, and media attention to Indianapolis. The ripple effect touched every player on the team. Sophie Cunningham recognized this immediately. She isn't dropping 16 pounds because her coach told her to. She's doing it because playing alongside Clark enhances her value both on the court and in the marketplace. Lexi Hall isn't launching Ford Cosmetics because she suddenly became a better player. She's leveraging the platform that comes from being on a team that everyone is watching, giving investors a reason to take her seriously. This is the new reality of the WNBA. Proximity to stardom generates opportunity, and players are making calculated decisions about their conditioning, careers, and business ventures to maximize that opportunity. Cunningham could have stayed in Phoenix, maintained her weight, and remained a solid rotation player. Instead, she got traded to Indiana, recognized the chance, and transformed her approach to the game. That's not desperation, that's strategic career management. The same logic applies to Hall. She played every game last season, even as the Fever dealt with multiple season-ending injuries. She averaged 7 points and 4 rebounds, a steady, reliable contribution. But because she was visible on a team with Clark, scouts, sponsors, and investors noticed her. That visibility allowed a role player to launch a cosmetics company and actually have a chance at success. Think about the implications for free agency. Veteran players looking to maximize earning potential now have a clear choice. Do you want to be the best player on a team no one watches? Or the fourth option on a team on national television multiple times a week? Exposure has become more valuable than individual statistics. We've already seen this dynamic in the NBA, where players sometimes accept less money to play alongside superstars or in major markets. The WNBA is moving in the same direction, but on a faster, compressed timeline. This shift also complicates CBA negotiations. Not all players contribute equally to league growth. Caitlin Clark generates revenue at a rate unprecedented in WNBA history. Teammates around her benefit from that halo effect, gaining commercial opportunities, media attention, and business platforms that wouldn't exist on other rosters. Meanwhile, players on teams without marquee stars work just as hard, play just as many games, but see a fraction of the recognition and opportunities. When the players' union argues for equal revenue sharing, they are essentially asking that Clark and a handful of other superstars subsidize the salaries of players who aren't driving commercial growth. That may make sense from a labor perspective, but it's a challenging argument from a business standpoint, creating tension between league stars and rank-and-file players. Cunningham and Hall are navigating this environment brilliantly. They aren't complaining about the disparity, they're leveraging it. Cunningham is getting into the best shape of her career to remain valuable to a contending team. Hall is using her platform to build a business that could outlast her playing days. These are smart strategic moves, and they illustrate exactly what more WNBA players could and should be doing. Instead of waiting for collective negotiations to improve conditions, opportunities exist right now for players willing to be entrepreneurial and take advantage of the league's growing attention. But the reality is that these opportunities aren't distributed equally, and they never will be. Stardom creates gravity, and gravity creates opportunities for those within its orbit. The critical question for the league is this: does the WNBA embrace a star-driven model, letting market forces determine who benefits from growth, or does it continue pushing for collective equality, even if that means the stars shoulder a disproportionate burden? You can't celebrate individual achievement while demanding collective compensation. Eventually, the league has to choose a path forward. This offseason, the players have already made their choice. They're chasing visibility, they're transforming their bodies, they're launching businesses. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall are both capitalizing on proximity to stardom to maximize their careers. Cunningham is building the fitness and stamina necessary to thrive alongside a superstar. Hall is turning exposure into a business opportunity that could endure long after her playing career ends. Both are making calculated, forward-thinking moves to position themselves for long-term success. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just changing how the Fever play basketball. It's redefining how WNBA players think about their careers, conditioning, and business ventures. The influence of a generational star extends far beyond the court, creating visibility, attention, and opportunities that reshape teammates' paths. This is more than an off-season trend. It's a paradigm shift that could set the trajectory for the league for the next decade. Fans, league officials, and players alike need to consider what this means. Are we moving toward a WNBA where growth is concentrated around a few superstar-driven teams? Or will the league continue trying to maintain parity at the expense of market efficiency? Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall clearly see the opportunity, and they are betting their careers on it. They are seizing the spotlight, leveraging their proximity to stardom, and making decisions that maximize both athletic and financial potential. In short, this isn't just about individual achievement. It's about the evolution of the WNBA itself. The league is entering a star-driven era, and players who recognize the value of visibility, platform, and opportunity are positioning themselves to thrive. The Caitlin Clark effect illustrates that in today's WNBA, strategic thinking off the court can be just as important as performance on it. For Cunningham, Hall, and others navigating this new landscape, proximity to stardom is now one of the most powerful assets a player can have. And how the league responds will define the WNBA for years to come.